Before we get to the main sauce of this video, I just want to say that GTA 6 Trailer 2 just came out. The first thing I did when I saw GTA 6 Trailer 2, I basically said, holy shit, they're finally doing it. And I'm not joking with you. The first time I watched it with my dad. And then like the fourth and fifth time, I was taking a poop while watching it. And then maybe the eighth and 13th time, I picked my nose and then I got a nosebleed. And then the 15th and 20th time I watched it while I was in the shower, I was watching every nook and cranny of that trailer. I mean, you even got Mr. Dolly JD talking about it, and he's supposed to be a Call of Duty Zombies YouTuber. Like, what the fuck, at Dick Nuggets? But the main objective of this video is why I don't date, and it's also a perspective of what I think about marriage and love. This is one of those topics that I've always wanted to talk about, especially in depth, but no one just never cared to actually hear me yap. There was only one time I can think of that I had a chance. There's mainly two reasons why I didn't really go hog wild and went fully in depth. And number one was we were in a Golden Corral. It really just didn't make sense to go full in depth and to go hog wild on it. Number two, usually when other people are talking, especially really loud, I tend to really fuck up all my words. I mean, I still do it when I'm just here talking, but when I'm in a crowd or someone's just talking over me, it's times two for some reason. But the one thing you probably noticed from me from watching any of my videos or me, reading creepypastas, you would have learned very quickly that I don't know how to speak English. So it's just very frustrating when I really want to say something or I want to talk about my perspective on things. It usually comes out as a bunch of sounds and noises. But the one thing I've noticed by making videos, I can just record my voice into little chunks and I can put them back together and make a perfect sentence. And I mainly do that so mainly you don't have to hear me fucking fumble all over my words just trying to figure out what I'm going to say next. And there's just not a whole silent gap where I'm just not talking because I'm sitting there just thinking what I'm gonna say next. And I think it just makes my videos more clean and just more thought out because I'm giving myself time to really think about my perspective and what I'm gonna say next. There is a reason why I talked about this, and bear with me. I'm gonna talk about love, and it might be pretty short mainly because I've honestly had very little experience with love. And I'm not talking about family love or just friend love, just I don't know how you would say, just relationship love, I don't know. But with what little I experienced, and believe it or not, I tend to love really hard. Every time that I've ever had a crush or I was in love with someone, it's always hard to really seem normal. There was one time in my life that I really loved someone so much that I dropped weight. I went from 287 to 165. Nowadays, I think I'm back up to 287, but I do have pictures to prove that one. When I truly do love someone, I usually go overboard. But that was back when I was 15 and 16. I am now 24. And honestly, it was so long ago that I felt that way that I almost didn't even remember it until, well, just now. And I think that's the only time in my life I've ever experienced it. I've never had no one love me back or anything like that since then. And honestly, that really does suck. Mainly because I was always the guy that really liked cuddles and hickeys, but it is what it is. I'm gonna move on to marriage. When it works, it's beautiful. When it doesn't work, it fucking sucks. Because if you don't trust your partner, whether it's man or woman, there's no double standard. 101 things can happen that could send you over the edge. The one thing that's always scared me about marriage, or if I ever did get married, getting married, everything is beautiful until I come home one day and she's in the bed with another person. And I usually have these hypotheticals a lot, what if scenarios, and usually I have an answer for what I would do. For example, I asked the question, what if my best friend died? And it's not like I did this one time and that was it. I did this multiple times. And the same question I would answer with, the pain would be so raw. I would probably drink myself drunk. Mainly because I would want to forget. The pain would be just too much, that I couldn't handle it. And so I did the same hypothetical. What if I married someone and I walk in and I see them in the bed? That was the first question that I asked to myself that I still don't really have an answer to. And honestly, that fucking scares me. It scares me that I can't answer that to myself. Either one or two things would happen that I know for certain. Either I'd be filing out divorce papers, or I would just completely break. If I was going to marry, I wouldn't marry the person that I met like a month ago. I would have to know that person for like a good 8 or 10 years. I would have to be for certain this person wasn't going to cheat on me, and vice versa. And if I did, I would have to sit this person down, mainly talk about the typical shit about marriage, babies, blah blah blah, right? But I would also bring up don't cheat on me. And that would be my reason. Divorce me, that's fine, but don't slither behind my back like a fucking snake. Love and marriage, if done correctly, can be a beautiful thing. And I've said this before in a comment. I said pretty much love is overpowered because you're taking the pros and cons from two genders, male and female, and putting them together. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. It's not about who gets paid more or who gets what. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And I think just that makes men and women have an equal understanding. And I think when that need is met, it leaves males and females satisfied, which makes them more happy, and I think that's what makes people fulfilled or content with life. And the reason I say that, you could wake up that day and instantly your house could be on fire, some hacker got into your bank, your car explodes, now you can't pay for your antidepressants. It could be like the whole world is stacked against me kind of situation, right? But deep down, you could say it's gonna be okay. Because you can at least say, at least I have my wife, or vice versa, at least I have my husband to help me fix this. It's someone that you can count on, and that's why love is O-fucking-P. And now you're probably asking the question, just that, if you like hickeys and cuddles, then why not date? I'll start off with the very simple ones. Number one, I have not found one person that has found me cute or attractive. No matter if I dress nice, look nice, I put on cologne, I actually use fucking deodorant, I lose weight, I have a lot of money in the bank, it never works. Number two, and this is what I said at the beginning, my communication sucks dick, with a capital D. I can never say the right words at the right time. And when I do say something to somebody that I like, it usually ends up me sounding like I went through puberty again. I can't be chill. Number three, nobody in the state of North Carolina looks attractive to me. And when they do, it's always an inconvenience. And I'm not joking when I say this, I think I'm fucking cursed. Because when I do find someone attractive, it's either somebody at work or somebody that I meet one time in Food Line. And when you're an introvert like me, that's like playing Dark Souls on the hardest difficulty with no armor. Because really, explain to me, really, I'm honest, explain to me in the comments, how the fuck do you open up with that? Because I've looked at the situation in multiple different angles, and I can't find one that doesn't make me look like a creep. And it might be just because I suck at gurgitating words out of my mouth. That would actually make it feel more natural. Number four, there is no place I can go to that has people my age. And sure, I can go to the bar, but there's only one problem. I don't drink. So I would be the only idiot in the bar drinking Dr. Pepper. And sure, I can go online like everybody else and use Tinder or fucking eDate, but there's another problem. How do I know the person that I'm talking to is not fucking 11? And that's why I think online dating is stupid. Number five, dating is weird and complicated. There are so many things that can go wrong. It just seems like everything has to be right. The way you look, your job, your humor. And every time when I'm in those situations, it always feels like I'm on pins and needles. Because if I say one fucked up joke, then it's already over. Now I'm gonna get into the more complex reasons why I don't date. Number six, the idea of being around someone for 24 hours would probably get on my nerves. If you haven't noticed, I'm a very weird person. Some days I like talking to people and some days I don't. Some days I like going to the arcade with my friends. And a lot of days I would rather like being cooped up in a house playing Minecraft. The absolute thought of being with someone that's always on the go, always wanting to go to Walmart, GameStop, malls, all that shit, JCPenney's. It just sounds fucking tiring. Like, my legs are fucking tired from just saying that. Number seven, and this is somewhat similar to six, women are very expensive. The only reason that there's a 4090 in my computer Mainly because I treat real life kind of like Counter-Strike. I just eco buy. I use 1% of my money, and 99% of my money is a nest egg, which means whenever I need to chip into it, whether it be paying off credit card bills or so on or so forth, I have at least enough money so I don't have to stress about bills. Or be like, oh shit, I can't get this because I don't have enough. I live in my own range. But the idea of having a girlfriend, that means I'm adding more to it. Because 99% of that nest egg will be going into paying for movies, going out doing expensive dinners, you know, doing whatever activity that's in North Carolina. And it's just one of those things that I think I would rather live comfortably than be with someone that I'm always in debt. Number 8, I don't think I could be responsible and provide if I ever started a family. And honestly, just that right there kind of defeats the purpose in dating, really. Because that's mainly the whole point you date in the first place. It's like when you first start a relationship, it's like starting a world in Minecraft. And like having a family and kids is like beating the Ender Dragon. But if you're not going to beat the Ender Dragon and get the Elytras, then why did you start fucking playing a Minecraft world? The biggest reason why I think that way, or why I think I couldn't be really a good father, is there was one time I had 2 cats, and it was my job to feed them, clean their litter box, and everything that's necessary for a cat. And at the time I said, okay, I could do this. Until they started scratching on my gaming chair and started hugging on my gaming PC. That's when I realized I really didn't want cats. And so I told my father and my mother to take care of it. That experience told me a lot about myself. And I think if I was a father with 2 kids, unfortunately deep down I know I couldn't do it. Number 9, I don't think I'm really mentally stable to handle something like that. I know that actually sounds really fucking silly. It seems like any time that I'm rejected or something just goes horribly wrong, I stop thinking rationally. I talked about it in one video before, but I completely lost my fucking head for 2 years just because I got rejected. And yeah, there was a lot of things going on all at once, but that just seemed like the first thing to tip me over. And if you want me to be really honest with you, I don't want to do that again. And it seemed like the simplest way to not lose my fucking mind was to stop dating entirely. My logic is kind of like this, right? If eating a watermelon makes you depressed for 5 years, then stop eating watermelon. It's only when I kind of just went down my own path I started to feel just better. And I think honestly that's what truly ended me just trying to date. And it's kind of after that realization that I stopped feeling lonely. And it's kind of like after that I felt more content just to stay in my lane. But there you go. That is why I don't date. It's a very weird perspective, I know. But as long as I'm content and I'm not going crazy, then that's all I care about. That's pretty much it. Skiddly boppity boop. I'm out.